the ever significant and at times entertaining relationship between Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi. Here you see his chart, and then her planets are the white inside black drawn on the outside to show what they link to in his chart. And what you see right away is that her sun links to his Eris, and therefore to the Eris Mercury Neptune T-square, which is Trump's most vulnerable alignment. And whereas Pelosi's Sun Eris conjunction, which he has herself, is representative of her advocacy for those who need help in life, literally, the downtrodden, those that have been left behind. She is the advocate, she's the warrioress for their cause. In Trump's case, this era shows up as his involvement in beauty pageants and his general and specific misbehavior toward women, which I think will eventually catch up with him. But in any case, Pelosi triggers this alignment and therefore massively irritates Trump. And they certainly have hurled all kinds of insults at each other. And so you would expect tension between their planets, and that's in fact what you find. He has said about her that she is weak-minded and is basically crazy, mental condition, which I find to be extremely unlikely. Her Mercury is very strong in Pisces. It increases her sense of compassion, but it's a retrograde Mercury, actually. And first of all, Mercury retrograde often makes for great speakers, writers, communicators. It may be counterintuitive, but it's correct, especially when it's close to its station, which is what happened here. Pelosi's Mercury was within 2 days of stationary direct. So this person is a very strong communicator. And moreover, her Mercury sextiles Venus and Uranus. So this is a very strong mind. So basically, Trump is full of it. In fact, he's the one with the woolly-minded Imaginarium floating around in his head with his Mercury-Neptune square and square Eris. There is no great support in the chart for his logical mind. So, remember something about Trump, that whenever he's hurling insults, a great rule to go by is whatever he says, he's talking about himself. It's all him. It's all projection. So now continuing, notice that there are Neptune dynamic interchanges. His Neptune opposite her sun, and her Neptune square his, as well as squaring the moon. So they are suspicious of each other. They find each other elusive and actually dishonest and deceptive. I think Pelosi is totally right to see Trump as that. You could say the whole world, or much of the world, sees that as well. In the other direction, Trump will find anyone that doesn't go along with him to be deceptive, dishonest, to be everything that he doesn't like. So no surprise there. But in any case, this kind of exchange doesn't usually make for easy relations, because with so much Neptune in challenge, it's hard to get a solid grip, and so it pretty much dooms their relationship. You also see that his Jupiter opposite her Jupiter, so their sense of what is good, of what is valuable, of what is important in life, and in other words, they have what is essentially opposite philosophies. I think that's pretty obvious. And now, for the icing on the cake, the trump card, no pun intended, so to speak, look at her Taurus planets, Mars, Venus, and Uranus, all of them in his 10th sign, near his MC. First of all, her Mars squares his. That's another indicator of, or let us say a potential indicator of aggression toward each other, and that certainly has happened. But the fact that they're in the 10th, that's the house that he looks up to. And essentially, she's the boss. She owns him. He may not admit it, but that is just the way it is. And to my mind, she is, at least in the near term, the first important example of an Eris figure over here that is basically showing up in his life to make him pay. I think there will be more. I think this is in his future, and there will come a day when Nancy will be the least of his problems. That is, of course, unless he decides to hydroxychloroquine himself into an early grave, or through some other means during 2020, because, as I've said in several prior videos, his chart is at major risk in 2020.